Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Spawncast episode 275. We're waiting on a few people to jump in. Nate said he's going to be kind of late though, and OJ's trying to work out his internet connection issues. But otherwise, we're ready to roll here. We have MVG.
Hello.
Settling in over there.
Getting there, yeah, getting there. Unpacking and getting this office set up. Should be ready by next week, I would say.
Awesome. Big return to YouTube as well.
Yeah, video Monday. So actually been filming and doing some editing today. So I'm really pumped to get back into it.
Awesome.
It's been like 4 weeks. So
yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
Miss it.
Okay, cool. Make sure everyone checks that out on Monday. Curious what you come back with there. Interesting. We have Sean, RGT85.
Yo.
Holding up the after show tonight. Is that the plan?
Yeah, we'll run it again, man. Last week was really good. Had like 800 people the whole time, so people seem to enjoy it.
Yeah, we were kind of just hanging out chatting last time.
And so. I streamed on Thursday.
Yeah, random stream out of nowhere popped up.
Random stream, man.
And you didn't get canceled, so it worked out.
No, I didn't. That's good. That was almost, it was an hour and 40 minutes just me talking, and I didn't get canceled. So, I'm kind of pushing my luck a little bit.
That's pretty good. We have Max, Dreamcast guy over there.
Yo.
Good to have Max in here, and then we have Jordan Fringe.
What's going on?
Going out for skate.
Oh,
we have then we got Evan.
Yep.
Good to have Evan here. So like I said, you'll probably see some people just randomly pop in. I don't know where Nate, I'm sure will just randomly drop in, probably OJ as well. Once he gets his internet stuff figured out. So we have some, actually quite a few things to go over tonight. Some of them will be kind of rapid fire because I was trying to fit more topics in tonight, but we'll go over the Bayonetta 3 release date that we got. Final Fantasy 16, there's some interesting talk around if a turn-based JRPG can work in like a large scale like that anymore. PlayStation Stars, so we have a new loyalty rewards program for PlayStation. And then we have the Nintendo Direct Future. I wanted to bring this up because Nintendo Life ran an article on it, and it actually got quite a few people talking about it. Mostly it seemed to come on the heels of that Bayonetta 3 release date announcement. So we'll talk about that. We want to start with the Discord question, Owen.
How do you decide between buying which version of a game for a console?
That's a good question. So if it's between the Xbox and the PlayStation, what I'll do is and it's like a single player game kind of, I'll look at what the DualSense features are mostly. And if they are interesting, then it's immediately I just go with the PS5 version because I'm like, well, that's the deciding factor there. But I will also admit, if it's a shooter, I lean more towards the Xbox controller, like a first-person shooter.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the haptics in my first-person shooters. It feels like it just gets in the way.
I like the
you can disable it.
I like the asymmetric sticks that lay out for a shooter, like a Call of Duty, like a Far Cry, like any of those really.
Far Cry 5.
It's just because a lot of Halo, like growing up with Halo is like asymmetric sticks were like the way. So that for me anyway, that's the way I do it. I mean, the Switch version, if you can pick between any of them, I will say if there is a JRPG that's going to take a long time to beat, I do kind of gravitate towards the Switch for that. Like I would love if Trails of Cold Steel 1 was on the Switch right now because that's probably where I would have picked it up.
I get almost everything on PlayStation if I can because I like platinum hunting and I like trophy hunting. But so much stuff is coming to Game Pass, and that's instant to me. If there's even a chance it's going to be on Game Pass, I'm a cheap ass. I'll take it on there. But if we're talking full price, I go Switch a lot, and of course, PlayStation.
I mean, yeah, if it's in Game Pass, it's just an automatic. I'll just go do that. That's fine. And then, hey, you could then, if you want, for collector's value, down the road, you could buy the physical copy on like the PS5 for $20 or something. And
exactly. Yep.
It also seems like, at least on my channel, if it's a third-party game, people are interested in how the Switch version turned out. Yeah. So, even if I had to play a less, an inferior version of it, from a business standpoint, it makes more sense to me because, that video will get better views than if I just did the PS5 or the Xbox version like everyone else did. So that's got to, I take that into account too.
I do like how that's still a talking point years later. How is this going to do on the Switch?
What did they have to sacrifice?
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of make sense though, because well, in order to know like the stuff for the Xbox and the PS5 versions, you got to watch Digital Foundry and they get your hate boner, your love boner for the Xbox. Oh, the Xbox version, so it's got one frame better. It's so much better. Definitive console. It's like
trash box one.
Like, all right, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes.
We got another Discord question, Evan.
What do you think about running SteamOS on PC to use on a TV as a console?
Oh, like the big picture mode.
Yeah, well, no, not big picture. Remember they released their own OS, but it's just built off of Linux and it auto boots into it. To my understanding, you're gonna miss out on some things that other OSs will give you, specifically Windows, not so much Mac. In games, but it's completely viable, and especially since it boots into Steam and immediately boots Big Picture. Technically, you can do that though on a regular PC. You can just tell Steam to auto boot as Big Picture.
Yeah, like just I mean, they are making a lot of strides on their Steam OS, like Linux base and everything. I still feel like if I was gonna do it and have this nice little box that I put under my TV, but is powerful enough to play all the games and everything, I do still think I would probably stick Windows and then decide to dual boot down the road and just take advantage of Big Picture mode, because you just click big and it's there, it's like it's not a lot that has to happen to get you in that point, but I either one will work, but that's just, I would go big picture mode and get like a PlayStation controller or like an Xbox controller or something to sync up.
Give it an 8-bit Duo or 8-bit Pro.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's choices everywhere with the PC. Choices everywhere. Let's go to Bayonetta 3 actually. We'll start with that one. We got the release date, and there was kind of a sigh of relief online with this, I noticed, because there was a lot of concern. I mean, we even expressed it here, concern around Platinum and their ability to even get this game out this year, let alone what they've done with like Babylon's Fall and some of the other stuff going on there, like kickstarting and all, right? But Bayonetta 3 is indeed coming out, and it is happening at the end of October, the 28th. There was actually a rumor going around, somebody put that date out there early, so there you go. They were correct about that. And the gameplay they showed in that trailer looked a lot better than the first one.
Yeah,
significantly better.
I think that's where all the concern came from, really, with that, as far as it being a 2022 title. Is you gave us a trailer, you said it was coming out in 2022. You literally showed one area, it looked pretty drab and boring, and there was some questionable tech issues that were popping up in it. So it was reasonable to think that this game could slip into 2023, but I was pleasantly surprised. I really liked that trailer a lot. I thought, it was good. And going back to the topic of last week, where gaming being boring, this kind of is a surprise because of the fact that we didn't know that this game was going to be coming out this year 100%. We hadn't even seen the game. So to actually see the game and not just a little snippet of it from a very small area, I thought it was great. You got a nice, almost 4-minute trailer of it. And yeah, I was definitely very hyped for it.
Yep.
I think it also had to impress. Sorry, John. It had to impress because it's a five-year game in development, right?
Gosh. Oh yeah! Wow.
I know of
first year of the Switch, we saw it.
So that trailer had to be on point, and I think it was. I think it really showed really well. So it's got me excited about the game again, which is cool.
5 years for Bayonetta. That feels like
it's been a long time.
I'm just glad it's finally coming out. Honestly, I feel like I'm hyped just because I want to play it. That trailer was really good, though.
Yes, they showed a new playable character, Viola, and like I said, visually it looked good. The frame rate seemed solid compared to the previous trailer where it was kind of sketchy at points. But it looks like Bayonetta. I'm expecting big. I'm gonna say pretty good review scores out of it, because if you look at the history of Bayonetta, it's always scored in like on their initial release, it's always been like in the 90s on Metacritic.
Yeah, I mean, they're good games, especially. I mean, you obviously have to enjoy the action adventure, style of game. The old.
I think it's easier to like that kind of game than if they're like, here's an 80-hour JRPG, grade it. It's like,
yeah.
Well, no, I fully agree with you, and it's definitely a game that I think a genre that a lot of us like. Yeah. And as long as it looks good and plays good, and it's got a little sexy time, and
turn that off. You got a mode.
Yeah. I'll be honest, I'm definitely turning it off. I'm always just randomly recording gameplay, and I just don't want to nip slip
for YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey, Nintendo put it on their own Twitter account. Their own YouTube.
You won't get that though in Bayonetta.
Yeah, no,
it almost looks like you're going to get a nip slip, and that doesn't happen.
The anticipation.
So I mean, that's the thing though. If this lives up to its normal expectations, which like what we saw with 1 and then 2, which built on top of the first one, which by the way, Bayonetta 2, people forget that was nominated for Game of the Year when it came out at the Game Awards.
It was a great game.
Okay.
I think it just lost out to Dragon Age Inquisition that year.
Oh
That's what
wow!
it
Wow.
year. Yes.
Good competition.
Go
So-
Wii U.
It kind of sounds like, I mean, this could be one of those games. We'll see how it turns out with Platinum and everything, but they've been given the time, so that's one of the reasons I'm kind of leaning towards this being a high quality effort overall.
It kind of has to be. I feel like
years.
this is. Well, I mean, I almost feel like this is like a sink or swim for
It
them.
might
Like,
be. It might.
Do you really? Well, then I guess that's the question. Do we think this is going to sell a couple million copies? Like a 5-year project? How many millions of copies does it need to sell?
Nintendo does foot some of the bill, so I don't think it necessarily has to sell a lot. I would be surprised if it did
1.5.
1.5 in a year.
Oh no, I feel like it has to do. I would think it would do more than that.
It's so. Oh well, I guess.
Bayonetta. Like it's Bayonetta. I mean, Nate's not here, but like
It never sells.
does it? Yeah. I mean, if you combine 1 and 2, I don't think it comes out to, more than 2 million, right? I mean,
It doesn't. Yeah.
I mean,
think
this
so.
one will sell better because it's on the Switch and it's Bayonetta 3, but I wouldn't expect, like massive numbers on this game.
It kind of has that. I mean, like when you see Viola, a lot of people are like, "Oh, that looks like a reference to just Devil May Cry." And Devil May Cry 5 did pretty well, so I kind of look at that and say maybe this does have a that chance to break out for the series, which a breakout for Bayonetta would be if this game did 2 million copies. That's
Really? Wow.
That would be for if you look at 1 and then 2 and their initial sales. I mean, if it came in at 2 million, Nintendo cannot look at this and say this is a 5 million unit seller, no problem.
I think they make the game to have variety.
Yeah, right. Good point. Yep.
And I mean, it's good to have variety. I mean, it makes you stand out a little bit more. It's not like you can't say, oh, well, it's all sunshine and farts over here, and it's like, no, you got a little something else.
Shane did all right too for being a new IP, so that as well makes me think that Bayonetta will have a good.
Well, they did what did they do? 1.2.
Yeah, for a game like that, new IP, like early on, 1.2. I'm sure Platinum, and I mean that game I don't think was in development as nearly as long as Bayonetta was.
I would say 1.5 to 2 in its first year. I can't imagine it being over that.
Okay.
Sounds low.
Yeah, well, if you look at the sales numbers for Bayonetta, you're going to be like, oh wow,
just look at
they're reaching for the moon on that one.
I mean, that's high for a Bayonetta game. That's high as shit.
Is it? But isn't there like 90 million Switches or something insane?
Yeah, but how many of those are
105? That's the thing.
Oh yeah,
105 million.
1% sales. I don't know why that sounds insanely low to me personally.
I get what you're saying, Sean. The family appeal for the Switch and all of this. Bayonetta doesn't really fall in with that.
I mean, there's obviously almost 3 million hardcore sort of gamers on the system. Almost 3 million. So it could reach.
Metroid's gonna come through.
Well, speaking of family appeal, what's the family game this year? Like
you got
holiday.
Kirby.
Oh, the Fall
That's
Guy.
Switch Sports.
No. I mean like
Pokemon.
Fourth quarter. Oh,
Is it Pokemon Violence?
You'll find out in September.
So the 1, 2, 3 Switch game that Nintendo hates, and everyone makes fun of it within Nintendo.
That's probably what it was
Mario and
Rabbids.
Rabbids.
Oh yeah, Mario Rabbids, and Pokemon. I think Pokemon's the family game.
Game.
Dude, the leaks for that game look crazy. I don't know. That game sounds like it's gonna be
ambitious.
I'll say that. It sounds like be all over the place.
That's why I'm replaying every Pokemon game to try and get ready for it because it does look freaking massive.
I like what Lookout Jack says. Bundling Switch Sports with a console for Black Friday is probably the move.
That sounds like a great idea, so it's not going to happen.
It's not. It's going to be the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle again. They're like, surprise, bitches!
Dude, it's going to be that. It's going to be that.
Everyone loves Mario Kart.
Oh, the
more tracks. That's the
Switch,
family game. More
Switch
tracks.
Sports, or they're going to do something weird. They're going to just package 1, 2 Switch with it for some reason. 6 years in or something. Now's the time.
I don't know. I'd be happy if they did like a Splatoon bundle and sold that new Splatoon Switch with a copy of Splatoon or something.
No, come on. Now you're just being crazy.
Look, I have dreams. Yeah, I know. I want my dreams to be ruined when it's Mario Kart again.
No, that's on the PlayStation.
So Bayonetta's out in just over 3 months. we want to drop a Metacritic prediction for it right now? Because I don't know if there's
85.
that much more than
89.
87.
I am going to give it one more point than Bayonetta. I'm going to give it 93. One more point than Bayonetta 2.
Damn.
You got to
I'm
look
at
at the gaming
85.
landscape, though. I feel like that plays a role into it because all
Yeah.
it takes is one jerk off that doesn't like. Here's the problem. All right, when Bayonetta 2 came out, I think a lot of gaming websites and gaming people were kind of different. Like, when was the last time? And I don't know, maybe I'm wrong with this, but like an overly sexy woman. You know, there's going to be some website, Kotaku, Polygon. It's going to be like 7. It's just over sexualization. It's ridiculous. It's like
You can turn it off. You got a mode.
it doesn't matter, dude. You know, there's going to be 1 or 2 websites that just crash the Metacritic on that game. I guarantee.
That's what I think. Yeah, I agree. That's going to happen. She's going to have some special move called the choke and stroke or something, and they're going to review bomb it.
Yep.
7 out of 10. It was just too much fun.
I'm gonna say it's gonna end at 82.
Okay.
Ooh.
Wow, that dude. If that
What?
comes in an 82 and those kind of sales, Platinum is probably in trouble. Then let's be like
Well,
that.
They have
That might be
Kickstarter
bad.
to help them, so
Oh, I mean, they're making a new IP with funding from Tencent, right?
Mm.
GG or whatever. I don't know. We'll see.
Babylon's Fall 2, anyone?
We'll see.
No?
We'll see. Yeah.
Okay.
Nope.
Well,
Well,
they're
they're
also-
season pass 3.
I do like that they're re-releasing Bayonetta 1 physically. I think
Yes.
that's fucking cool as shit.
That's a good. Everyone should pick that up because that's going to be a game that like is
It's only
pretty rare.
$30
down the road.
People
too,
were
isn't it?
complaining. I saw people complaining that
Yeah.
it was $30.
What?
Why?
It's $30 on
Why?
like I think it's $25 on the Xbox, but they
Didn't
have
it
a
come
sale
out
right
like
now.
2009 or something? It's like,
Yeah.
2010, I think. But
But yeah, it was
yeah, people
wild,
were
yeah.
saying 30's too much.
It's a
I don't know.
physical version. There's
I have no opinions. I'm just the messenger. I just saw what I saw.
If it was like $50, I'd be like, okay, hold on.
what if they kickstarted the release?
The Kickstarter.
I'll pin
Now
them
you're
to the
on to
front.
something. You're on to something.
I'm thinking about buying it. Honestly, I like Bayonetta 1 a
Yeah.
lot.
Bayonetta 1 is on Bayonetta 1's on sale right now on the Xbox. And
I
that's
went
like
back and
$10.
tried to play it like a year ago, and I don't know if it aged particularly well. I think 2 is aged
Here we
great.
go.
2 is still
Two is
really
aged
good.
really well. 1 is a little rough.
Old man MBG on his stoop.
Yep.
Yeah, 2 is still really good. So
On
I'm
the
gonna
line.
replay
2 is-
both of them though, leading up to Bayonetta 3's release. I'm gonna do that.
I'm about to buy 2 right now.
I might try out 1 on the Xbox. I might try that just to see how that Xbox One version turned out because they did it with Vanquish, and then I'll go to the Switch for Bayonetta 2.
This game is still expensive.
The first
Is
one?
it?
No, the second one, the physical version on the
It's
Switch.
at $30.
No, it's like you can get the one that doesn't come with Bayonetta 1. You can get it for 60.
Mm.
But like everything else is like $100 if you want a new copy of Bayonetta 2 that has Bayonetta 1 on it.
Don't you have it on the Wii U?
I'm
I
not
have it.
digging out my Wii U to fucking play
Fire
a
it up.
video game. Hell no.
Fire it up.
Hey, you know what? Bayonetta 3, looking forward to it. October's getting pretty packed. There's a lot of stuff happening. It's like
And where's OJ?
Star Ocean's right there with it.
Right, yeah.
This is his moment.
OJ missing his topic.
OJ made
Yeah.
bank on the pre-show. I was like, fuck it, I'm out.
Let's Evan, we got Discord question over there.
Any good books about the history or development of games? Something
Sound-
like Blood, Sweat, and Pixels.
Sounds like a question for Max.
Yes, I've read a bunch of. My favorite one is there's a history of Grand Theft Auto that's great. My favorite is there's one that's called Masters of Doom, which is about how they made Wolfenstein 3D and made Doom. But it's also about basically the early ages of just figuring out code, making the first 3D shooters ever, and kind of the success that came from that. It kind of gives you a chance to see that a lot of times game development is just so making it up as you go along. So sometimes what's successful or failure was just seeing what sticks to the wall. And of course, Console Wars. Console Wars also is a good one.
I would say,
Oh,
no, a really good book is the complete Sega
No,
32X
there it is.
guide, featuring insight from Al Nielsen, who is director of marketing at Sega during the lead up to it. MVG is in the book somewhere. Joe Redifer from GameSack, Sega Lord X, HD Retrovision Cables, who made cables for it. Look, there's MVG.
Do you have an affiliate? Do you have an affiliate link you want to put in chat?
Nah, just a standard Amazon link is fine.
Gosh. Thank you.
Great game. Great book.
All right. You got another one, Evan?
Do you think Retro Studios will hit 10 years without an original game release?
Oh gosh.
How close is it?
Yes.
Hold on. When did Tropical Freeze was that 2014?
No, it was 2013. Let me look it up.
Yeah,
if it's 2013, I say yes.
Yeah, if it's 2013, yeah. I don't. You think Metroid Prime 4 makes next year?
No, I think it's the year after that.
What about the port of Tropical Freeze?
That doesn't count. It's not original. You put funky in there.
Yeah, they put funky. The funky mode.
I love the Funky Kong memes so much.
Funky Kong.
Dark Souls.
Putting Funky Kong in a game and being like, yep, all right, this is great. February of 2014 it came out. That'll be close, man.
Will Metroid Prime 4 come out before February 2024? I think it's their holiday 2023 game.
I think there's a chance.
Same.
Also, we're missing a topic, by the way.
What topic are we missing?
The Genesis Mini 2 being
my god. There's still so much. We need to know if Lunar's in there for us, or like there's so much stuff we need to know.
We do know some of this stuff. We'll talk about it when we get to the segment.
Okay, thank you.
You can do it for the after show though.
Yeah, that's a post-show topic.
That might be a good after show topic. Okay. After show starts just after 11, so we'll get into it then. Let's. If we got another Discord, we'll go through one more.
Does the Spawncast think that Silksong will release in 2022?
No, I think it's 2023.
No.
Unfortunately, I think it's gonna be like first half of 2023 though. I think so. I do want to put this topic in for Jordan and kind of myself for this one.
Me?
Yes. Skate. Skate is announced during a video.
Correct. Yes.
It will be a free-to-play live service game, and there's also a mobile game for it in development for Skate. It's not anywhere near ready because they keep showing like the test footage gets out there. There's no textures on anything basically. So I don't think this is a game they're pushing out the door anytime soon, but the fact that they came out and they were like, it's a natural evolution of the series.
This specifically, I think even before Skate 4 or now just Skate got announced, or maybe right after it got announced, you and I were talking on here about what's EA gonna do with it.
Yeah,
we saw a clear path. I remember specifically talking about a clear path where this is going to be a free-to-play game where everything was going to be transactional. You want cool boards? Buy them. You want cool customization for your character? Buy it. You want
different color sparks for your grind? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even think of
everything.
That.
New areas, DLC. Okay, now we just recreated the Fantasy Factory again from Rob Deerdeck. You want to pick up that? That's $10. Buy that pack, and you can skate with your friends online.
Mode
there.
The game, yeah.
There could be funky mode. Surfboard, skateboard. You never know. This was warned. We were warned of this. We talked about it. We were prepared. The thing was, I was ready for this to be announced, because I knew it was going to happen. As much as I could tell myself, nah, they'll make Skate 4. It'll be just like every other Skate. It's EA. This is the perfect opportunity. It's the perfect open game to be like, all right, well, now we can just keep everyone busy for another decade with this Skate game that's continuously evolving and adding stuff. It's free. You just, we'll Fortnite it. You could buy skins and do all that, but you could play for free with your friends.
Jordan,
of course it was going to happen.
Is Commander Shepard going to be a character?
I really hope that they do bring back some of those
guest characters.
Characters like Isaac from Dead Space. Like, you have Dead Space coming back anyway. That'd be a great tie-in. And I always loved, I think it was at the time, Dead Space 2. There was an area where you could see like a skate game like in one of the area. I thought that was cool. But they should definitely bring back guest characters, have stuff like that as like DLC. Do it like what Fortnite does. You know how much Fortnite they have Indiana Jones in the game now with Darth Vader and Carnage and Wonder Woman. Like, it's everything. Start bringing in stuff like that. Make it weird, make it wacky, but just don't make it lackluster from the jump. At least make it the base game good. And I think I think they were trying to do a lot and noticed that to make a new skate game that was an evolution of the series this much later and starting from scratch and doing it all over again was costing too much money. And EA was like, we're not going to make our return. So here's what we're going to do. Pause. It's free. Make it all transactional. Everything you're adding in there, save it for later. We'll make a season pass, a skate pass, you know. They'll probably call it.
What did they announce this? It was a couple years ago, right? It was like 2 years. Was it a year?
I think it was 2019. They announced.
So EA saw that and they were like, "You guys, you don't have textures or anything. Okay, this is free now."
100%.
When is this game coming out?
Oh,
no one knows at this point.
24 holiday.
I would say with how it's looking right now from what they showed, they said, "Hey, we're really early." I wouldn't even want to guess late 2023. I would say probably anywhere within the first 5 months of 2024. I think this game.
You feel like
out.
Worst case scenario though, end of 2023, they drop it with like one map and like 3 characters to play with, just to try to churn it.
We get a bare bones, start of it.
I think the difficulty for EA is like they can't sit on this release for a long time. That it has to come out sooner rather than later, right? So do you, like what you just said, Evan, just drop it with one map and 2 skaters and add as you go, and then really just lose people, kind of like what happened with Halo?
Oh yeah.
Because I feel like if they're going to spend the next 3 years developing this game, that is like some serious money they're throwing at this franchise, and there's no guarantee of a return on investment at the end of the day.
This game is going to be absolute butt cheeks. Absolute dirty baby diarrhea butt cheeks. Like when you take the diaper off and it's just smeared all over the place.
But is it going to be this?
What the hell?
Is it going to be the special kind where when you're playing it, you see the mechanics and you're like, shit, this would have been a really good not free to play game? Yeah.
Oh yes, 1,000%.
All right, no, I actually think the opposite. I think this game is going to be fantastic. It's going to play great. It's going to play like the Skate 4 we've always imagined, but I think it's going to be lacking content. Like what MVG said, it's going to be the Halo syndrome, where Halo Infinite plays fantastic, but there's like 4 maps. I guarantee you, this is going to be 25 boards and 9 billion sound effects that all cost money.
No, I think boards wise, you'll have a huge amount because it's basically they're just going to take one board and then just have a ton of artwork, like basic artwork that they'd have it plastered all over the place.
I think the mechanics are going to be good, but it's going to be just a lack of content. Yeah, the Halo.
EA is not as worried because they know how loud and how big the fan base for Skate is. They have been attacking EA, who's begging for a new Skate game since 2010. They have been asking for a new one, any glimpse of it, and we're finally getting it. And they know they can't mess this up. They can't pull a Mass Effect Andromeda on us. All right, they can't be doing stuff like that anymore. So they have to make sure that one, it plays great, like we're saying. I do think it's going to be, physics wise, fantastic. But they have to, even if they have to drop it at a very early level, it has to come swinging with a perfect roadmap. It has to have a good amount of stuff at launch. I don't think it's going to be small individual maps. I think it's going to be one large open world city. And then that's just going to be extended on, and new skate parks are going to be added in new areas over time. I do think it's going to launch with a lot, like a founders pack where you can spend the cost of a game to get all that stuff. There's definitely going to be a season pass. There's going to be a lot of DLC right from the jump. But I don't know. I'm worried about it, but at the same time, it's like I can't feel surprised. I can't feel hurt by this because this was the natural evolution that they were going to do anyway.
I think they'll do the score-based battle royale.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. Like my interest level went from I'm really hyped 48 hours later to fuck this game. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it.
Well, no, you're not buying it. It's free.
Who tweeted out?
I mean, I'm not spending any money on it. I mean,
John, did you
free?
Somebody tweeted out. Who was it? Was it John? Somebody tweeted out, and I saw it, but it said it was like EA at headquarters being like, "Yeah, you can make a skate game," like evil laughter. Like, go ahead, make your little toys. We'll make it a microtransaction-filled skate park.
And there are some people now digging through the files for the test, and it appears they found what looked to be loot boxes currently.
Of course, there's a shock.
Of course.
on stream they said that there wouldn't be loot boxes, but people are passing around some images and some text that
it'll just be disguised. It won't be called a loot box, but it'll be.
Actually, I can give you the name. Hold on, let me pull it up here real quick.
It'll be called a skate crate.
Here we go.
Yeah,
ooh, I like that. See, you sold me. I'll take 10.
Skate crate.
It's swag bag.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's clearly a loot box.
Yeah.
It says each product box you open will have a random unlockable item inside.
That's literally a loot box.
Yeah.
There's no hiding that.
These companies will lie. For anybody who doesn't realize this at this point, these companies will lie. Like what they did, Diablo Immortal, they said you can't buy gear, but in this you would buy a token that would give you gear. So it's like, yeah, I guess technically you didn't buy the gear, but you have still spent money to get it.
Yeah. Whoa. So that's a shame. The whole thing. That is a real shame. Jordan and I were celebrating, and it quickly went to.
At the end of the day, am I happy that there's a new form of a skate game coming out? Because I've been tired of playing 3 for over a decade.
Yeah.
Yes, I am excited. Will I play it? Absolutely. Will I probably be stupid and they put something I really want in the game, like $5 and you can actually skate around?
It's gonna be $20.
Isaac from Dead Space.
Yeah, it's gonna be 20.
It's gonna get me. All right, some things get everyone sometimes. Everyone has their own Fortnite, okay? But I totally understand if people don't support it, don't like it. I do think it's it's smart business for them, I guess. I just think it's dirty business, but whatever.
Here's the funny thing, though. If it doesn't work, then EA's gonna be like, I mean, they told us they wanted Skate. We tried. We tried to give them Skate. I guess they just didn't want it.
Yeah, we gave them Skate. Well, you gave us like an empty box that when you open it up, it said Skate not included. You have to buy that extra. So it's okay.
What a shame. What a turn that whole thing took. Let's go over to Final Fantasy 16. This was an interesting thing that's brought up because a lot of criticism that's been thrown at Final Fantasy 16 has to do with the battle system because it doesn't look like a traditional Final Fantasy game at all. It looks like a Devil May Cry game for the most part with the action-based combat. During an interview, I believe it was with Famitsu, and it was translated, but I believe he's mentioned this before, that the reason they're working more towards the action-based combat that we're seeing in these trailers has to do with essentially the newer generation coming in to gaming and it not really appealing to them. And it seems like they're mentioning like the younger gamers that wouldn't really latch on to the idea of turn-based. And if it can't grab enough people, then it doesn't make sense to dump this kind of money into this game. And it sounds like, I think anyway, they would want this game to sell like 10 million copies.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where we are now. Is Yoshida correct in the sense that a big budget, I mean, this game, Final Fantasy 16, $100 million game. Like looking at it, it's probably
more than that.
Yeah, more than that. Yeah, but even after the bag they got from Sony, probably still cost them like $100 million, something crazy. Right? Yeah. Looking at it that way, would they be able to sell enough copies if it was a traditional turn-based, command-based, whatever, or is the move to action just needed at this point?
I think for mainstream appeal, I just want to quickly jump in since I beat so many. I'm playing a turn-based combat game literally right now. I think my thought is that I think they're correct for mainline. I think making the mainline games, like they've always tried to switch it up a little bit, making it so you have different styles of magic, different styles of setting, different styles of summons. I like the idea that they're always trying to shift, even in these modern times. I agree that action will sell more, and Final Fantasy 15, people forget that game sold ridiculous amounts. A lot of people legit started the series at Final Fantasy 15, so I think they don't want to veer too far off that. I guess my hope is that I hope we still start to get spin-offs or something. Remember when we used to get tons of great spin-offs from Final Fantasy? Give us those as turn-based.
Yeah, I mean, they have Team Asano. They're doing some very traditional stuff with their games. I like the idea, though, of doing spin-offs, Max, ones that don't necessarily have to sell even 3 million copies.
Yeah.
Successful. Square has some pretty wild expectations right now, as we've seen with some of these other studios that they all floated, where like Tomb Raider didn't seem like it was successful enough for them, so they did kind of pass that off. But Final Fantasy 15 did get to 10 million copies sold. I don't know if they're ever going to get that Final Fantasy 7 moment again, where that sold 13 or 14 million copies, something like that. I don't know if they're going to get that again with a turn-based game, because that game in particular,
Dragon Quest 11 did over 6 mil.
Yeah, but it's not 10 million.
Yeah, it's still not 10.
Well, but
that's an incredibly popular game.
Pokemon's an turn-based game.
Pokemon's interesting. People bring that up, Sean, because it's like 20 million or something, or like 18 to 20 million. That's actually down from previous generations overall. Like if you go back to Red and Blue, it was like 30 something million. So, I mean,
it really just depends. Personally, I know we were talking about this before the show. When I was younger, I liked turn-based. Now that I'm older, I like action RPGs. And I don't really know what happened, but this is just how it is. Maybe because, I don't know, when you get older, time feels shorter than when you were a kid.
I mean, that's even still different with the new generation. I know my little cousin doesn't give a shit about turn-based. He'd rather play action games. So
you got to teach him. Like, look here, you little bastard.
Even then, though, but Yoshida brought it up in the interview. He's like, people like the newer generation, they don't really understand why you can't just fire the gun, but you have to pick something in the menu that tells them to fire the gun. And I mean, yeah, going through a menu with your characters just all politely standing around with the enemies. I mean, that does kind of look weird when you go up to a certain budget like they are here, to where it looks like cinematics how we had back then, just in game. I guess it is kind of jarring to see that to an extent. Even Final Fantasy VII Remake had to change things up pretty drastically.
Well, I do want to bring up, so I'm playing Lost Odyssey for the first time. My glitchy thing. This is sort of like the real Final Fantasy 13. It's by Hironobu Sakaguchi, the original creator. Super good. I love this game so much, and it feels, the graphics are still extremely modern, and I feel like I see so much conversation for it still. I feel like if they did turn-based, I think it would sell. Maybe I'm seething and coping, but I feel like a mainline Final Fantasy turn-based would still be fine, but, you know,
here's how we know if turn-based is just not going to work anymore. If Dragon Quest 12 comes out, and it's not command-based anymore, then I think it's like, the writing's on the wall then, because that's been the most traditional, straightforward series when it comes to their like JRPG combat. And if it's like, even if it's like a little bit of a stray from that path, like not quite Final Fantasy VII Remake, but close to that, then it's like, oh, this is.
It is interesting. I mean, I know Starfield is a deviation from what we're talking about, but even Starfield doesn't have like the VAT system.
Yeah.
I thought it does.
Does it?
I thought they just didn't show it, but I thought it was said that it has something like the VAT system in it. If Starfield doesn't have the VAT system, I'm out.
Oh, really?
I like the VAT system.
I got the feeling that it wasn't a part of the gameplay mechanics, but I don't know. If you're saying it was there, then I'll
that'll be interesting.
I will believe that, but yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think
it doesn't, according to the chat.
Well, Sean's out.
Here's something else interesting.
Go ahead, Max.
Fuck.
I was going to say, people are actually bringing up a really genius point I hadn't thought about, which is Yakuza 7, where Yakuza's always been an action RPG, and then for the newest one, Like a Dragon.
Yep. Like a robot.
Yeah,
like a version.
And there you
go.
They
got him. Oh no, they got him.
First time.
I'm gonna go ahead and probably go with the Like a Dragon became turn-based, whereas the prior ones were action. And did the Like a Dragon sell better? I believe
it sold well. Yes, that one did.
The Yakuza got me. Sorry.
I think that one. There were people who were like, I don't like the combat for this, but I think the fact that they changed tradition so much with that game is one of the big selling factors for it too. I almost wonder if they did it again, that same style, if it would still sell that well. Also, Yakuza's been consistently like on an upward trend, so I don't know. I think just it being different helped. But hey, I mean, I tried again. I liked it. Yakuza Like a Dragon is a very good game. Absolutely. We'll see. 16 is going to be the most action-oriented Final Fantasy mainline game we've ever seen. So if it comes out and it does really, really well, they're gonna next Final Fantasy is gonna be like Call of Duty or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you always have. It's not like they only make that game. I mean, it's great. Enix still makes a ton of turn-based RPGs.
Yep, a lot of strategy stuff too. Strategy games. Yeah.
Well, The rumor is we're getting a Final Fantasy Tactics remastered this year, so maybe they're just going to do that, but keep bringing old Final Fantasies back as well.
Jeez, they got a Dio Field coming up and a lot of tactics stuff. Okay, I like it. Evan, we have Discord question over there.
We have someone who missed out on the PS2 era. He's wondering what the best way to experience those games is currently.
I mean, people are going to say emulation.
Yeah, you don't even need like a great computer.
It is though the best way, unless you want to spend the money,
take out a mortgage,
set up.
PS3, get a PS backwards compatible,
or get like HD Retrovision cables, and then a PS2, and then all the games.
We need an actual the Retrovision analog cables or somebody to do something with that. I don't know. I would like a new way to get the PS2 stuff going. Or you can just hope that Sony eventually builds up their PlayStation Premium library to where it's worth it, and they have like 50 PS2 games on there or something. But hey, if you want a PS3 backwards compatible, look up the 20 gigabyte model. It doesn't have Wi-Fi, but the Wi-Fi in the PS3 is terrible anyway, and you can change the hard drive out, and they're almost always cheaper because no one knows they really exist. So get that one. It's fully backwards compatible with PS2 games. You have another one, Evan?
Since we have such a big subscriber base, do you think we can get 40,000 people to donate $1 so we can buy stock from Nintendo and go ask them the real questions?
Yeah, that would be pretty fun. We'd have to send Sean, right?
Yeah. That was one of the suggestions.
I'll wear my cheetah pants.
He also suggests to do it to Sega if Sean wants to do it. So.
I could just DM Sega.
To be honest, to get a board seat at Sega,
probably
Sean
like $5,
might just have to hit the ATM. Yeah.
What would we ask Nintendo though? Let's say we pointed up 40 grand. What would be the
Switch
question?
Pro? Switch Pro.
But everyone keeps asking that, and their response is always, "We're always working on something." It's like, all right.
It has to be a very pointed question, that they can't get out of.
You can just sell the stock when you leave, and then just donate the money or something to a charity. Yeah. Like, we did it.
Where's the Switch Pro?
What's the point in developing all these online tools and never using them for your first party games?
Why is your online so wonky?
Yeah.
And different from game to game.
Yeah, I'd be like,
the real Metroid Dread sales.
You got to be real formal about it though, and be like, as an avid consumer of your product, why is your online play connected to a turd of dog shit? Like, why is that specifically?
We would need a translator, though, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
I know some people.
All right.
Oh, we have to have Sean read it off of paper, though, right?
Is it?
He writes it out.
Is it Nate Mochizuki?
I don't know. It's interesting. Do you have a mask?
I like the Metroid question.
What are the Metroid?
Yeah, but I mean, by the time we get there, it'll be after October anyway, so I don't care.
That's true. We have to come back to that one. We'd have to come up with it. It'd be a $40,000 question. So that'd have to be a good one. We'll get one shot.
Like, why does Princess Peach not have an OnlyFans?
We'll come up with something. Maybe we'll reconvene on this next next week. We get Nate to give us something to trip him up with. Let's go to another Discord question, Evan. Then we'll go over to we'll do the PlayStation Star stuff.
Oh, you want to do that? All right. Do you think PlayStation's reward program will be retroactive for platinum trophies?
Oh, that's interesting. Because there was also someone I saw a super chat that mentioned platinum trophy counts. I don't have my platinum trophy count on me because mostly I don't care about it. But
I think mine's 0 still.
0. I know I have some. I have some. My problem is when I beat a game, I just go to the next one.
Same.
And I don't necessarily keep the only one that I really was like, I'm pretty close. It was Ratchet and Clank because I was like 2 or 3 trophies off. But I actually don't really care about trophies much at all. They're fun when they pop, and I'm like, that's cool. I did kill 10 enemies in like 10 minutes, but once I get the trophy that's like you beat this game, I'm like, all right, I'm on to the next game. So yeah, I don't know how many platinums I have. I have trophies in general for the games that I play through, but
I think I have 35 or 40 plats, which I know is a lot. Yeah, people in the chat are saying they have hundreds. I usually get about 10 plats a year the last couple years.
I don't think I have. I don't know off the top of my head. I have to look, but I have a lot of trophies that are like, congratulations, you beat the game, and then that was it.
I don't go out of my way anymore to complete anything. Like if it's close or if it's like a lot of them I have are just because you get all the trophies for just playing the game. And it's like, well, I got the platinum because I played the game, but then there's Ghost of Tsushima where I'm like, I just don't want to stop playing, so I might as well go for every trophy. So
I get it for the Final Fantasies and the Resident Evils. I like interesting platinums. Like I'm trying to do The Last of Us Part 2 platinum, but it's boring as hell. You just find all 264 collectibles and you get the platinum.
Yeah, see, I'm not doing that.
They're boring.
that's it. Only 264 collectibles.
Like some of these games, dude. Some of the games, the platinums are a pain. Like I'm doing Trails of Cold Steel right now. I'm 40 hours in the game, and I look down, and I have 7 of 51 trophies. I'm like, how is that a thing? How is that possible?
The platinum for Final Fantasy 14 takes 10,000 hours because you have to do like 5,000 trophies. Yeah, so dumb.
Yeah, but we do have something else, and I don't know if I was curious about this. Is it possible that, because sometimes I'll talk to people and they just say they're not as interested in, like how Jordan did, they're not as interested in the trophies as they used to be, maybe when they were fresh and new and it was this fun thing to do for the first time, right? Unlock these trophies. We have this new rewards program, PlayStation Stars, that seems to have milestones and like, I don't know, quests or tasks that are set up that are going to be system level. So they mentioned signing in once a month, just checking in basically. Hey, turn your PlayStation on. Congratulations, you got this. All the way up to be the first one to get a platinum in this brand new game that just released, which to me means that reviewers are just going to get all those. I don't know how that works.
That's what I said in my video. Yeah, I've platinumed games before they came out. I'm like, yeah, they're definitely going to disqualify us, and I think that's fair.
No idea how that works. But they did mention that you'll be able to use the points for different things that you buy in their shop, which can also apparently be wallet funds. So I guess you get cash back if you play the games.
Digital collectibles too.
Digital collectibles was funny because dude, so many people I saw in the press were like, this sounds like NFTs, but really they're just like, well, no, it's I picture it's like Astro's Playroom. If you go through that, you get those artifacts and they fill up a room. I'm picturing that room just being like a system option you go to, and then there's this PlayStation 3 controller we gave you because you were one of the only people ever to play through a streaming game on the service. Something like that, right? Or you beat God of War Ragnarok, they give you a Kratos statue for your little digital drawer.
I would love it if you platinum one of those PSP games that are getting trophies. It'd be cool if they give you like a Darth Vader PSP for your little collection. I don't know.
That's kind of how I'm picturing is they have different character models. They said things from the past for Sony that's like legacy stuff, and they already have all those scanned for Astro's Playroom. So I assume a lot of that stuff will just show up there. So be like, hey, here's the PlayStation Eye that no one actually bought. It's now yours. I am curious though, the platinum race. They said by region. Okay, they do.
I think it was time zone. Yeah,
time zone, region, all that stuff. I'm curious how that's gonna be tracked and done correctly.
Right. I guess you could put yourself in a weird time zone or something.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of questions around that one. But I think this makes sense for them to build on top of their trophy system, because something I've kind of noticed is the trophy and achievement stuff's been kind of stagnant for like a decade now. It's been basically the same kind of thing. Sony just tried to do something that was invite only there for a little while, but they didn't really do anything after that. I think they collected info and then came up with this. But when they first talked about achievements and they introduced it on the Xbox, then we got trophies on the PlayStation. It was this big thing, and it was cool because it was like you get stuff in your games. Then it's just become kind of like, I don't know, standardized to where it's almost boring at times. Like, yep, all right, what's the platinum? All right, cool.
I honestly have never cared about achievements. I don't care about achievements. I don't care about trophies. Like, it's cool. Like, if that's what you like, that's what you like. But it does nothing for me. I'm just like, whatever.
I love them, man. So, something about it's interesting. It feels like an extra style of quest in a meta sort of way. It's like, here's a bunch of objectives that the game developers have come up with that push you a little bit further. And I like that.
So here's why it is smart to have them for the company. I see people on Twitter and other places that'll be like, I got to get it on PlayStation because I want the platinum trophy. So that's a selling point. It doesn't actually do anything for you necessarily. I mean, it's attached to your like gamer card, I guess, that can technically be revoked by Sony at any time, but still, it's just that extra thing, you know? It's like the thing to collect. So
water.
If that's if that's able to push them just over the edge to buy, it's worth it for Sony or Microsoft to try to keep implementing this stuff. So I still wonder if we'll get to the day where Nintendo implements their own achievement system, because that's everyone always mentions that now.
You can't even play fucking 4 people on a team in Mario Strikers.
That's
Stop
the achievement.
Bro.
It pops and it's like, wow, that's cool. We got
You did
4
it. You
people in a
got
room.
2 people in 2 different places with 2
Somewhat
switches.
functional online internet.
What about
internet? Themes? Oh gosh, folders.
Folders?
Yeah.
Messaging your
no.
friends. No.
Messaging your friends.
I'm asking for a lot with achievements. Like, hey, Luigi's Mansion 3 had achievements built in, didn't it? Some of these games have them.
Yeah, but what
It's almost like every game is completely different than the other game when it comes to first party Nintendo stuff, when it comes to online or achievements and stuff.
It is. I feel like Nintendo could come up with some weird thing that, I don't know, maybe it'll work, but that's one of the reasons I wanted to see Nintendo try, just because they might do something that actually like catches on and it's like, oh, this is creative. Like PlayStation Stars, that could be pretty creative depending on what they come up with. And I kind of think they're gonna mix it in with PlayStation Home 2 whenever that comes out.
Ooh, wait, is that a rumor?
No, it is now. I'm making it. That's the rumor.
Based on nothing.
Reset era, gaming leaks
Dude.
Reddit.
I hated PlayStation Home, but if they brought it back in a cool way, I'd try it again.
Oh, it's gonna be tied into PSVR 2. It's
just gonna be VR chat.
It's probably whatever Haven's working on, and it's gonna be called maybe something different than PSVR 2. But it's like a Second Life kind of thing.
I just like fucking with people on PSVR. Because you'd have it had like the little dance areas and stuff. People are like, don't come near my girl. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you, you virgin? Shut up.
Yeah. And everyone's using the exact same like 2 dance emojis. It was terrible.
I have to imagine that's too popular for Sony not to look at and be like, we need to attempt this at least.
They will. It's metaverse. It's essentially what the metaverse is.
I guess my thought is, I feel like monetizing that is so weird. Like, I'll be honest, if I ever played PlayStation Home, I wouldn't buy anything. Like, screw it. But if it's unlockables, like if it's part of PlayStation Stars or beating games like in Dress as Leon Kennedy, I might participate then.
If you could have your achievement trophy
on a shelf in your game.
On a shelf, yes. And it's all 3D rendered. And technically at that point, you have the PSVR 2 controllers where you can pick them up.
Yeah, Sean could walk into your house, pick it up, chuck it at you.
Yeah, like that. That could be fun. Or maybe you can switch something that's like they're not allowed to grab it. They can't pick this up, but they can see it. That'd be kind of cool just to tie it all in. To me, that's kind of.
It sounds like one step away from importing bored apes and.
I wouldn't be shocked if
15
years in the future we look back on this and we were like, that was it. That was the moment they made the move right there. They just didn't tell us. They did make a response in like an hour for that. Like, no, this isn't NFTs yet. But they were quick to push back on that. I kind of understand why. But for now, it's tied to your account. I don't know if we'll ever get to a point where you can trade collectibles that you earn from trophies. But I wouldn't be shocked if that happened. Anyway, end of the year. So Max, you'll tell us if all of your platinums pop immediately and give you like an entire waterfall of like statues that just fall down into your account.
Right. Or store. I'm most curious because they said store credit. So if I suddenly get a bunch of store credit, I'll let y'all know.
Okay. Yeah. So they give you like $1 for a platinum or something like that.
You beat Balin. Here's $40.
Yeah, right. I beat Balin and they just give me another copy of Balin and like spread the disease. It's like the ring tape. You have to get someone else to play it to break the curse.
I need to. We'll go over to super chats here. So Evan, do you want to hit us with the Discord question while I pull that up?
Which Switch case do you all use? Also grip or no grip?
I have the
standard Nintendo one.
I have the Satisfy grip. I do have a harder shell case. I don't know what the brand was though.
I use
Did you use the Hori one? I thought.
No. What's the thing that lets you use the Pro controller?
That's the S1.
Yeah, the Fixture S1.
Fixture. Yep.
And now they have a case that you can fit the whole thing in. Because I got one. That's my go-to.
Yep. That is nice to have that like that Pro controller on the go. I gotta be honest, my Switch hasn't really left my home in a while. Yeah. It just kind of goes around in my house. Like if I want to play in a different room or something, it just kind of goes with me. I think they built it up like we were gonna take it everywhere, and like then lockdowns happened and no one could take it anywhere. So it just kind of got used to just being around the house. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I played Metroid Dread on a plane, and that was a good experience. But I have not taken my Switch out of the house since then.
That's the thing. I feel like if maybe I travel, like if I was on a plane for 3 or 4 hours, I probably would take the Switch with me then and play it. You know, I'd play it there. But I just haven't had a reason to get on a flight or doing that stuff.
I remember playing my DS on a train ride, and I had like the whatever Madden was on there, and like the dude next to me was just like blown away. I was like, "Whoa, what's this?" I was like, "It's Madden." He's like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "It kind of ugly." I was like, "Yeah, but it's still Madden." He's like, "That's tight."
It's still Madden.
Well, it has 2 screens.
Let me go over to some of these super chats here. Scott says, "Good evening, fellow gamers."
Good evening.
Solo says, "What is your most anticipated game of 2022 aside from God of War?" I was going to say God of War. Aside from most anticipated game of 2022.
Bayonetta 3.
Splatoon.
Bayonetta
I'm
3.
looking forward to Dark Tide. That's about it.
I'd say Stray, but I already beat it.
I'm between. If God of War's out, then I'm kind of between Bayonetta and Mario Rabbids. Sparks of Hope. Yeah, that's a tough one. That's tough. I want to say Star Ocean, but no one's gonna believe that.
The game does look good. The new stuffs look great for it.
I really want to help. I want it to be good. I want Star Ocean to have a good release. And I know it's gonna come out and it's gonna be like a 60 on Metacritic. I'm like, well, yeah, that's about right.
Callisto Protocol. I'm definitely most hyped for Callisto.
Yeah, that looks good too.
Good one. Yeah, it's a
It
good
looks
pick.
good. But all my hype's going to Dead Space. Too close.
Also,
okay.
the Sega Genesis Mini 2.
Not a game, but all right, cool.
It is a game.
It's a system
that has games on it.
Hey, I will tell you, if Lunar 1 and 2 are those fully English and everything?
Well,
you think they're gonna pull those? Oh wait, that's right. After show.
So now you want the topic
I'm sorry.
for the show.
Sorry, after show. That's right. My bad. If Lunar's there, that is pretty good. I'll give it.
Well, it's gonna be pretty good. Let's just say that.
I Live for Retro says 2022 may have started off boring software wise, but we've been getting some cool hardware with the Steam Deck, Analog Pocket, and Playdate.
And the Sega Genesis Mini too.
T-Joe says, my Switch isn't docking right lately. I feel like something's wrong with the springs, and the USB-C plug doesn't fully seat in. Can the springs go bad? I mean, technically any spring that's mechanical can go bad. I mean, that would be tough. Like I don't know how you would, unless something like liquid or like something sugary got in there that like would make it sticky or it wouldn't move well. I'm trying to think of how those springs don't really get pushed that badly. So, I mean, the good news is you can just, docks are like $40 or $50 on Nintendo's website. So if that's the worst case scenario, that's actually pretty good compared to the Switch being busted. T-Joe says, is Sega ever going to patch Sonic Origins almost a month later? And I still cannot play Sonic 3 competition mode by myself on Switch. Yes, they have actually come out very recently, I think in the last like 12 hours, and said, we're going to fix this. Even the modding community gave up on that, by the way.
Oh,
shit.
Misclick here.
Stop working, man. Out of nowhere.
You got your internet back? It's back. All right. It just started working out of nowhere.
They're not racist anymore.
Oh, God.
For now.
For now.
For now.
Mine got fixed last, though. That's suspicious, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's fine. They're not racist anymore.
We got OJ Player Essence here joining us.
That's that.
Good to have OJ here.
Sorry to bust in like the Kool-Aid, man.
Yep.
Sorry.
Good, we're good. How was the pre-show? Pre-show was fun?
It was good until it just stopped working.
Oh. Well, good to have it back up.
It was good. There was like nearly 400 peeps there, so it was fun.
PTP says we pretty much know all the games that are coming out this year without playing some of the games. Predictions for Game of the Year and the 6 nominees. Oh,
Sonic
Elden
Frontier.
Ring.
Before a lot of them are even out. Oh man, Elden Ring's
3.
obvious, right? Yeah.
God of War.
Okay, got those. Yeah. Okay.
Dark Horse Shredders.
Shredder's
Oh, I think Shredders will be indie game. I think it'll be in. I don't know if it's gonna be in the.
Well, you have to have an indie game in the list. they might as well make that.
What about Stray? Stray's an indie game, and there's a lot of talk about that. Oh God, I knocked my mic over.
Nobody cares about Stray.
They're going.
Whoa. Damn.
Whoa.
Cat people are fucking weird. They're like horse people.
Hey,
First of all, how dare you?
Horse people.
I'm not wrong.
What kind of world do you live in?
Horse girls do have a problem. I will confirm that.
I have three. Three is how many we've named so far. All right. We have, what did you say? Elden Ring, God of War, Bayonetta 3 is what you said, MVG, right?
Yep.
Okay. Does Mario Rabbids Sparks Hope have any chance?
Maybe.
Okay, maybe.
Why are we
Does
dismissing
Xenoblade have any chance?
No.
I wasn't dismissing it.
I think Xenoblade does have a chance.
I don't think it does.
I think it's gonna be
And
really hard.
I'm the biggest Xenoblade fan ever.
Xenoblade, if Xenoblade comes in at like a 91 or 92.
It's not gonna matter.
Oh man,
Because the people who vote for Game of the Year, like we're talking Keeley Awards, right?
Yeah.
The people who vote for Game of the Year are not the same people who they review the games for the sites. There is a disconnect, a very clear disconnect from people who actually vote and the people they get to review those type of games.
Right.
You know?
Right.
So I think that's the reason why it's going to get great reviews. It's going to be mid to high 80s. So it's going to be up there in terms of review score, but actual Game of the Year for Keeley Awards, no. Now for other websites, absolutely.
Well, Jeff Grubb's in the chat. We can ask him what he's putting on there. He said Neon White.
I think
Grub, you need to put Shredder on there.
Yeah, that's the thing. Neon White would probably take Indie over Shredder, Sean, based on the way.
On what fucking planet?
Dude, you see a lot of people are talking up Neon White pretty.
And they're still playing it. I definitely see more conversations still about Neon White. I like Shredders more, but Neon White's still got that tail to it.
Are we even?
Was it a cat?
I'm gonna drop if we're stuck on 3. I'm just gonna put Horizon Forbidden West in there because we're just trying to fill out this fourth one.
When's Callisto Protocol?
December.
It'll be too late.
Yeah.
I'm counting it. Screw it. I'm counting on my Game of the Year. I'm gonna count whatever game comes out this year.
Yeah, but we can all just agree, right? Like the game awards, it's just gonna go to Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Like there's no other, not even God of War is gonna beat it. Like there's no other big game that's gonna.
I think God of War could be. If God of War,
no.
Elden Ring is the biggest thing that has happened to the internet.
I feel like this reminds me very much of what happened with God of War and Red Dead Redemption 2, where everyone was like, Red Dead Redemption 2 is taking it. There's no chance. None. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 won every single award, and then we got the Game of the Year, and God of War won it.
I just can't see any other, like, even if God of War, everyone's like, oh, this game is, there's something about the sweep of Elden Ring from this year and how it's still carrying it's like an influence like that. It's already locked in to win. Look at how it was like the years building up to it with Keeley announcing it and getting it hyped for it and being the one to premiere. It's all leading up to him giving it the award. I don't have any doubt in my mind that it's not going to that.
Neon White should be in there. I'm looking at. I haven't got a chance to play it, but it should be in there. It's got a really high Metacritic.
Okay,
like,
so we have those 4. That fills out the indie spot. Like you bring that up, OJ. He's got a high.
I demand a recount.
And I don't know. The last 2 are. I don't know. I mean, I've tried to pick between Mario Rabbids could end up being a surprise hit in terms of like its high rating. I don't know.
I would see Xenoblade before Spark of Hope.
I'm putting Star Ocean in there, obviously. No, but I'm voting Xenoblade in. Xenoblade's in there. It's number 5. Xenoblade's
How are we putting Xenoblade over Shredder's Revenge? This is insanity.
Because Xenoblade's like
Shredder's Revenge will be there. It'll be there, Sean, in the new games to probably lose the Neon.
But no one's even played it yet.
Absolute insanity.
I'll just drop Mario Rabbids in there. If Callisto Protocol was closer, maybe. I could have put that in there, but yeah. All right, that works. And
Shredder's good though. I mean, I like, but it's like an hour long. Game. It's like an hour long, you know.
Replay value, level up the characters to get more moves. I'm playing it right now.
I've broken a few bosses in there. Some of the bosses are super easy.
It's like the bouncer.
I thought you were playing Far Cry 5.
Except the bouncer stinks.
Kiki says, MVG, any thoughts on Unity and IronSource merger?
Sounds very sketchy that they partnered up with some malware company.
I was going to say that's a malware company.
Yeah, it seems really, really strange, and they're getting a lot of backlash and hate for it. And honestly, I mean, based on perception and everything, it seems a little strange that they would jump into that space. But guess we'll see what comes out of it.
Really annoyed if I was a developer MVG who's like 3 years into a project with Unity.
I had dinner with a couple of devs last night that are Unity developers, and they've been working on with Unity for like over 10 years. And you know, it's one of those things where you can't just up and change to like Unreal like overnight, because it's a completely new workflow. It's like, you know, changing like from Adobe to like Sony Vegas or something.
But they are thinking about doing it.
But they are very much questioning, you know, is this the last game I'm going to make on Unity before I try something else? So I don't know. We'll see how that all plays out. It's interesting.
Ronald says, shout out to MVG repping his homeland.
Thank you. Up the Reds.
Mobile Gaming Master Race.
What?
I like where this is going. It says consoles have Trash Ballon. We have Genshin. This is from Paul saying, oh, MVG, have you been able to check out the latest developments in the PlayStation 5 Blu-ray drive? Jailbreak, I think is what that stands for.
I haven't firsthand like played around with it, but I've been following along with it. It's really, really interesting.
Okay.
But I haven't, you know, done it myself or anything like that, but it looks pretty cool.
Metal says, will Joe Rogan be the commentator in UFC 5? Leak it. Sure.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Peep
says, yo, Cass, with Ubisoft shutting down DLC servers and some single player components, can devs patch games to be peer-to-peer online without servers?
I mean, devs can do a lot of things. Will they do them? That's a different question here.
Just upload it to Google Drive and drop the link. It's cool. Radberry says, hey all, I never get to watch you live anymore because of work, but luckily it's my birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Radberry.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
And somehow got off work. Love watching you guys, and stay safe. Let's actually, this is from Fish Fan. Fish Fan says, thanks for a great show, Spawn Crew. RGT, do you think cloud gaming can make it on the next gen Nintendo? And also, any good eats this week in Haljima?
Grandma came over. What's today? Saturday? She came over yesterday. She brought me some lunch from a fast food restaurant around here.
Okay.
I mean, the problem isn't necessarily can Nintendo do it. It's the infrastructure is not there yet, and it's going to take a while to get the infrastructure to the point of where it works to the point, and then you're going to have people who still won't. It's a good option. I just don't like it as a mandatory thing.
Okay. Let's talk about this Nintendo Direct stuff that popped up. Obviously, there's a Nintendo Direct next week. No, there was an article that was posted up. I noticed it got a lot of traction online for people discussing this. And Sean, you mentioned this because we've talked about this a couple of times, but I was surprised how many people really like went over this, specifically about. It seems like the question is, and they go over pros and cons. Would you mind if Nintendo retired the big Nintendo Direct format, as in just no more standard Nintendo Directs that we look forward to that are scheduled as one big show for third and first party games all jammed together in 40 minutes. Instead, Bayonetta 3 gets announced. It seems to explode online anyway, just from a Twitter drop and the trailer reveal. And we had the Kirby game that was announced and got a similar reaction, as in if you just put it on Twitter or you send out the press release and you put the YouTube video out, it has the same effect anyway.
The only reason that this is a conversation is because we did not get one in the month of June. Now, when was the last time that we had a situation that was similar to this? During COVID, and you got all these weird directs and you got all this other stuff, and people said the exact same thing. Now, yes, technically speaking, as long as you get the information, who cares how you get the information? But it's not like they need to change it because Nintendo Directs aren't working. I mean, Sony does state of play events and stuff like that. Could you see more game specific ones? Sure. But I just think, you know, the idea of having, maybe you don't need, 4 a year, maybe you cut it back to 2 or something like that. But really the only reason I feel this was done was because, okay, you have to talk about Bayonetta 3's release date if it's coming out in October. You don't want to wait till September to do what we anticipate will be some sort of direct, and then be like, oh yeah, next month, Waka Waka. It's like, no, you got to have a little bit more run up time. So like, I still think that there's other stuff that they're going to do this year as well. I definitely think there's going to be another Nintendo Direct. Do we need them? I mean, they're nice. They're not life or death, but it just feels very similar to the COVID year. It was the same sort of thing.
To add to that, Furukawa in 2020 said, and I have the article here, he said, "We feel Nintendo Directs are incredibly effective. Inversely, times change, and so does the most effective way to promote products. So there is a chance that a new, better way to present this information comes about. So we like to examine all the possible ways to communicate this information." So I feel like this was something that, you know, it was kind of inevitable in some ways, especially with the delay of Breath of the Wild 2, that maybe they just thought, well, I don't really need to like focus on the Direct, you know, for the summer months. We just need to communicate what we're working on, you know, as we're you know, doing it. For example, like you said with Bayonetta 3, I think ultimately the message and the marketing behind it is still going to be as good as it was anyway. So I think, you know, they can definitely, you know, sit back and announce Directs in a more strategic fashion over time, I would say.
I was on Twitter and I saw people say that why wasn't there a Direct with the announcements that's happened? And I'm like, where are all the announcements that would make up of a Direct? Like
there's not
first party. So
there's not enough meat.
Yeah, I don't understand all these games that they're doing release date reveal trailer. Xenoblade was announced already in the February Direct. Bayonetta was announced already 5 years ago, and then it was the one last thing for the last year's Direct, and then it's an eShop Kirby game. That's not enough for some type of big Direct to get people hyped and excited. Maybe you can combine it with the third-party one, but I think they kind of wanted to focus on those big third-party games. So I don't see why everyone's saying there could have been some type of big Direct when there hasn't been anything like new. Like maybe if there was like a new, you know, F-Zero game that was announced on Twitter or something like that, then I can understand. But there really hasn't been much, and there's no need to force it. People sometimes want to like force a Direct when there's games not close to being released. So I kind of like the Directs where they like announce stuff and like you can play them, you know,
right?
Like relatively short time.
Agreed.
Yes. So there's no need to have a Direct and everything's like, well, 2023, 2024, later, no release date. That's not the type of Directs that I would want.
Do you think there would have been one if Breath of the Wild 2 was coming out this year, though? Do you think they would have had one?
Potentially, because that game, you know, even
agree.
though they've already announced it, but that game's much bigger. You know, people are just like waiting for info. They might have had one, but I'm not 100% sure that they would. I think they might wait till September, and then you can talk about the Q1 games if there's like another big game or two other third-party games. I think that was maybe the plan, and I don't know. I think it might look kind of bad maybe if you overshadowed all like Persona and all these other games that are coming, like Nier Automata and all this stuff. I mean, those are big third-party games, Harvestella. So I don't know. I'm for a bunch of games that are coming out in 2023, because there's not anything left for this year. Maybe one surprise, maybe like Metroid Prime Remaster or something.
I'm kind of back and forth on this, because when we get a lot of the info at once in like a 40-minute Direct, there are games that are smaller that tend to just kind of get looked past because they close out with Bayonetta 3 or something, right?
I completely disagree.
You don't think so?
A lot of those smaller games benefit because you wouldn't be talking about them otherwise. Somebody said it in the chat. The Bayonetta trailer got 400,000 views. The last Nintendo Direct got 9 million.
Last Nintendo Direct overall.
Yeah. So,
but I mean, also we're talking in just a couple days in a Twitter drop. I kind of enjoy, in a weird way, I'm kind of liking this no Direct. I kind of like these little drips of like, here's a game, here's something. I don't know. To me, I thought it was cool. I like the game focused Directs. Like, honestly, that Xenoblade 3 Direct sold me on Xenoblade 3. I pre-ordered it right after I watched that. You know, I kind of like that.
I feel like if I look at the last major Direct and ask what first party games are there off the top of your head, you'll tell me the major one, but you probably wouldn't be able to tell me like a Kirby, like the Kirby cake kind of game that was shown.
What?
Like I'm saying, it's not as memorable. Like if we go back and look at a Direct that aired 2 weeks ago, for example, that was like this major one, we'd be talking about the big release and not like the small one. Like that Kirby game, I think that would have been one that would have been kind of looked past if it closed out that.
Yeah.
Like
I mean, I'm not saying that we needed a Direct now, especially if this is what it was going to entail, but going forward in the future, you would assume there would be more stuff to talk about. It's all don't force a direct because you feel like you need to do one. But if you have a lot of stuff and you want to give some shine to some smaller games as well, because it does help. I completely think it does help. Because even if it's just subconsciously, when that game gets a release date or something, or it comes out, you're like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that in the direct. So I think as long as you have the content to make a direct, you should do it, but don't force it.
What do you think would have happened this year if there was an E3?
What
would Nintendo have done?
I think it would have been all about Breath of the Wild 2.
Do you think they would have just fallen back to that and been like, here's Breath of the Wild 2? Or do you think they would have been like,
honestly, I think I don't think they would have changed anything.
Okay. I think they would have grabbed the third-party stuff. They would have grabbed the first-party stuff that they'd kind of already announced, and then maybe they show the Metroid Prime remaster as a way to close it out. And maybe that's how they get past it.
They would have just shoved more Xeno. They would have just been like, guys, Xeno's coming out, or Xeno's coming out next month.
That's what I'm curious about, is what they would have done then if there was an E3. Because they feel like they have to participate in E3 every year, it seems like. Whereas like Sony's like, we're not there anymore, even though they're part of the ESA, which is interesting. So that's the thing I'm curious about. What's the alternate timeline where there's an E3?
I mean, they could have done, if they felt the need to do one, you could have done the third party stuff. And then you have, as far as a full on direct, you do the third party stuff with your Bayonetta release date, Xenoblade stuff, maybe show some Pokemon.
Yeah. I like the idea of like one or maybe two major directs a year, and then they just do like treehouse stuff with games to show off, like they would show off Xenoblade for half an hour that way, or they'd
Bakugan.
There we go. So you close out with that. Yep.
You remember it at least.
See, they do remember that. If that wasn't a direct, you wouldn't remember it, but it closed out a treehouse.
Exactly. And then they randomly sent me a huge box.
They sent everyone that. I'm like, I don't even know.
I don't even know how they got my address. They sent me a huge box with the game and all the toys, and I was like, "Well, little cousin, here you go."
I gave it to the nephews. I thought it was the most amazing thing, and I'm like, I don't know what this is.
Yeah, I got a box too. I was like, okay, I think it's still here.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like in the extra room or something. I don't know.
There was still a lot of excitement from the Twitter announcement reveal and all of this. And even like Nintendo doesn't even show off hardware in those directs anyway. So I don't know. I wonder how badly they really would need a direct if they didn't want to have one. They could just kind of throw stuff out there and create a bunch of hype. And
do they ever do hardware stuff in a direct? Usually hardware stuff is a completely separate thing.
Nah, they haven't done it since they botched it in 2011.
You know what they did instead? They did a live show, and you know what? We need more Nintendo live shows. That's what their E3 should be. They get the puppets out and they just go full on like that. They do it again.
I love it, dude. I love that. Bring it retro.
I even like the one they did for the Switch where they laid down on the couch in this really awkward position to show off how comfortable the Joy-Cons are. It's like
they brought that couch out. They carried a couch out. He draped himself on it, and they carried the couch away. I love that.
I want to say, I hope they do that for the next hardware. They just do another live event. I want that again. That was good.
The live event was dope because like Suda went off script.
Oh yeah.
The translator was like panicking and sweating bullets.
They never did another live event again. Thanks, Suda.
Yeah.
Thanks for that. I think we're back to. I think we see another direct in like September, October, Sean. I think you're right about that. And I think they. I don't know if they do it in August because Tokyo Game. Wait, no.
Why? You don't need one in August.
Too early. You know what? There's like too many games. Like October. Have you guys seen October's like release window? The releases in October?
Games was in June.
Well, if Metroid really is coming in November, as like Jeff is very adamant about.
Jeff is a fraud. You talking about Jeff Grubb?
What did they announce? They announced it in September?
Fraud.
And it's like, hey, well, in a month and a half, this game's out.
Jeff Grubb's a fraud.
Whatever happened to
until he comes on the podcast?
Whatever happened to Wind Waker HD?
Yeah, and Twilight Princess.
There we go.
Yeah, RGT. You made videos, RG. I watched your videos. Yes, Sean.
I'm making a video tomorrow about Metroid Prime and why I think it needs to come out. Yeah. But here's the thing. And then you edit it. Once again, what did we just talk about? During the pandemic year, we had a special direct for what? Super Mario All-Stars Collection.
No, we didn't.
You could, yes, we did. You could simply just do something
That game came
like
out
that.
what 6 or 7 weeks after then.
Yeah, you could simply just be like, yo, you like fucking Zelda and Metroid, bitch? Well, here's 3 games that are coming out, in the next couple of weeks. I think it easily, especially if it's the two we're assuming that Twilight Princess and Wind Waker are going to be bundled together, and then Metroid Prime. I mean, hell, you could do individual ones on both of those.
They could discontinue them after 3 months.
Yeah.
No, that's a great idea.
See, now we're talking. I think you're right about that because
that's gonna happen. I'm gonna blame you when that happens.
The Zelda one's definitely happening. They're watching now. They're like, "That's a great idea."
What 3D World sold like 10 million in like a month.
Yep, they're like, "Get them off the shelf now."
Off the shelf.
Yeah,
they're still on the shelves.
Yeah. They just went to the Nintendo store and started ripping shelves down. They could do that, Sean. They absolutely could because we already know those games. Well, we do. There's probably, I'm sure, a lot of.
We don't really have to. I mean, even no. Well, Skyward Sword got its own subsequent videos to sort of explain everything as well. So I mean, you could easily do that.
Yeah. I'm okay.
I'd be happy with it.
Prime. Just give me a Metroid Prime. I'm okay with that. Although you can't. I still feel like they can't show Metroid Prime Remaster without showing Metroid Prime 4, acknowledging it in some way.
No.
That would be weird.
They'll say, stay tuned. Metroid Prime 4 is still in development.
They already did that. They did that with Metroid Dread. They're going to do it with Prime too?
Yeah.
They've done it multiple times.
Oops, they did it again.
The way that they do it is they'll say, we know that people are very much anticipating Metroid Prime 4. It's still in development. We'll have more to share later. But for now, we have a very special treat for fans of Metroid. And then bang, into...
There you go.
Yeah,
MBG is actually working on the presentation. That's how he knows it.
They did that for you guys remember they did that maybe a time or two for Bayonetta 3. Like when Astral Chain came out, they were like, Bayonetta 3 still happening, but look at this cool action game here. You play this.
Show Metroid Prime Remaster and then close out with Prime 4 cinematic trailer. Do it.
Ooh, or maybe just say, hey, beat this game, and there's a Prime 4 trailer at the end of it.
Those were the cool days back then.
Remember the Metroid Prime Hunters demo on the DS that came with your DS?
Mm-hmm.
That's what sold me on a DS because my buddy got one. I was like, oh, that's kind of lame. He's like, nah, it's tight. I was like, I don't know, man. The graphics don't look all that
That's
good.
just a good moment,
and he was like, check this out. And he did the little trailer where Samus was crouched down on the bottom screen and then she stood up and I was like, holy fuck, I got to get one of these.
The top screen, it's like there's 2 screens.
And the next day I called every electronics store near me and there was, I was going to community college at the time and there was a place like 30 minutes away that had one. I just hopped in my car. I was like, can you save it? They're like, no. I was like, I'll be there. I didn't go to class or anything. I just went straight up there, picked it up, came back to school, and like we had this little area that everyone sat in called Blue Hall. There was a Cruisin' USA machine in there as well, and at the time you could smoke cigarettes in there. So I literally I went and got some food. I sat down at the table. I played Super Mario 64 DS and just chain smoked for like 2 hours, 3 hours, and I was like, oh fuck, I never went to class today. Whatever.
Good times.
Good times, man.
Gosh. Evan, we got a Discord question over there.
Yeah, let's go with this one. Sonic Guy here. I haven't been around to watch the Spawncast live in a long while, but wanted to get a chance to say that the podcast, as well as each and every one of your contents, have been helping me a lot in my long hours at work, including weekends, and the life events that have been going on around me, including the loss of my brother, who was a big fan of many of you as well. You're all awesome. And to Jordan, how's Sonic Frontiers looking?
Oh, gosh.
Well, first off, I'm so sorry for your loss. But Frontiers definitely is a game.
And Sonic's in it.
Sonic is in it. That's true.
He's kicking people.
See, I don't know about that.
You didn't see that?
No. All I know is about Sonic is there in the game. He's blue. He's blue.
He's blue.
Still blue.
Blue Blur. That's why they call him the Blue Blur.
Right. Remember, it's a good game.
Blue Blur.
Blur. I remember that. That was like more realistic kind of Mario.
Metal Jesus is like obsessed with Blur.
That was a good game.
Is he?
Yes, when he made a Steam Deck video, he was like, "You got to play Blur on it." And I was like,
I like.
Dude,
I had a good marketing campaign against Mario Kart, but Split Second was I like that game.
Oh, actually, I mix up Split Second and Blur all the time. They have like the same box art.
Yeah. Good times.
Tijo says mobile games get taken away all the time, including ones I paid full price for long ago. Why is everyone only now with Assassin's Creed Liberation revolting? There's like gotcha games that are like live serve. There are some of those games that go away, and some people spend tens of thousands of dollars on them, and they're just.
I don't think people are now revolting. Ubisoft has had a very, very bad history with PC games in general, with DRM and activation and all sorts of just weird shit that they've done over the years. And this is just another thing that they tried, and I guess, maybe it's not as bad as we initially thought, but no, this is not we're only throwing our arms up now. This is something that's been happening for years with them.
Okay. Sabbath says, hardware engineer Moore's Law is dead. Confirmed Switch 2 in 12 months. Hardware to about 10 times more powerful than current Switch is very rarely wrong. Very reputable source. The only one I follow.
10 times more powerful?
In 12 months?
Damn.
Whoa.
So by next July?
So they're going to announce it before the Splatoon one? Oh, no. It's after a little bit. That's going to suck for those people.
I don't know. I think this generation's gonna mess some people up. Nintendo's gonna do some weird stuff for the next couple of years, I think.
Gives YouTubers some content. So there you go.
I think some people are gonna be mad, happy, and it's gonna be an interesting couple of years. That's what I think's gonna happen. I don't know. I Switch 2 in 12 months. I don't know if I'd bet on that.
They're not. They're gonna 3DS it. There's gonna be 8 billion variations and re-releases and 2D Switch S, whatever the fuck.
Switch 4K, telling you.
Switch 4K. Yeah, I'm still kind of in that.
What's that?
In that boat.
Developer for
gosh.
Night Dive Studios, MVG, says a Switch 4K is coming. You heard it?
I think we're seeing a revision. I think this generation's 8 to 10 years.
He's working on a Switch 4K game confirmed on the Spawncast.
And you know what? I'll say now. It's
Not
what is this? 2022.
MVG
Everyone will forget about this
right now.
by the
Make
time
sure
it comes out anyway. I seriously have doubts that Nintendo is going to build on this hybrid model.
Well, I mean, if we
I see what you're saying.
I think they're going to do some weird stuff in the next gen.
No way, man! Breaking my heart.
I think this gen's lasting a while.
I mean, look at the current president. He's very conservative. Like he doesn't really want to change and fuck with things too much. Everything is going really, really well right now. I don't think they want to like mess around with what's going on.
I think they're messing around with it now. I think this is a 8-10 year generation.
I don't see them doing anything super crazy. I agree. Like all the crazy people are like out.
Yep.
All the crazy Miyamoto's like making movies. And,
with Chris Pratt. Yep.
It'll be a while anyway before you see whatever they do after the Switch. But I don't.
What are you talking about? It's coming out by the end of this. It's being announced by the end of this year, according to a reputable leaker. According to a data miner.
I think we see the revision.
Is it data or data?
It's
data.
It's whatever you want it to be.
Data. It's like tomato, right?
Who the fuck says tomato?
Yes, can I get a tomato, please? You just said it. You do.
You just said it, dude.
I did it in a sarcastic way.
But you still did it.
Datter?
Did it with a London accent.
People hear potato. People say potato here is really weird.
Symphonic Balance says, hope everyone is having a good evening. Excited to finally play Klonoa since my UK import of the physical cart arrived today. Wow, I went in a different direction. You have to check the cartridge. I did not get the cartridge. I had to get it physically.
I'm waiting for mine to get here.
Yeah, I still want to import it, but it's like they really couldn't have just once I import it, they release it in the US. Watch. They decide. I'm playing it on the PlayStation right now. I'm waiting for that Switch physical copy. Bradbury says, what do you think was a better remake, Link Between Worlds on 3DS or Link's Awakening on Switch? Well, Link Between Worlds wasn't
a remake. It was a brand new game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to look at it just from the angle of they built another or sequel to Link to the Past, basically. Or, I mean, art style wise, I guess I would go with Link's Awakening, because that has an interesting look, but I think Link Between Worlds is a better game. And Nicholas says, I'm playing Bayonetta on my Wii U right now because I'm too cheap to buy it again on the Switch. There you go, Sean. Break out the Wii U.
I'm not doing
Fire
that.
it up.
I don't even
Break it
know
out.
what box it's in.
You shouldn't. Here's the problem. Here's the problem with that. Bayonetta on the Switch is actually a lot better. It runs a lot better. So
wait, I could pirate it.
What?
You could.
What?
Simu?
Sure.
Is that the name of it?
It is not.
Fuck Nintendo. They don't like me anyways.
But you were just talking about not wanting to buy it, basically, is what you were doing earlier.
Yeah, now I don't have to buy it. I already own it on the Wii U.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And I'm
Just
playing the Wii
U.
No, I'll just fucking Simu at it.
Buy it on the Switch.
What am I made of? Buy it for me, Papa.
Hold on.
This
You're
looks
gonna play it on your PC. You don't play anything on your PC.
But it's an emulator, so it's okay.
What?
It's not really.
You're gonna sit at your PC monitor playing on your PC
Yeah,
for 10 to 12 hours.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that's a DMCA violation if you do that.
Really?
I heard that somewhere. Yeah.
For 10, no, you're just gonna buy it. One night you're gonna be on Amazon and be like, whatever.
Didn't you already beat the games? Sure.
Yeah, but I haven't played them in a while though.
Yeah,
I actually played them both on the Wii U.
Okay, so you played Bayonetta 1 and 2 and beat those on the Wii U.
Yeah.
Oh, but
He
you want
has
to
it on the
replay
Wii U.
them before
He just
Bayonetta 3.
Right.
Plug it in.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That should be that's a whole video idea there for you right there, Sean. I plugged in my Wii U in 2022. There you go.
Oh, dude, those videos always do well.
There you go. And
They
you
do.
then would
Thumbnail.
capture footage for Bayonetta 2 while you're
The
playing it.
thumbnail is just you holding the pad. I forget what it's being called, and he's just blowing dust off of it.
You can do
That's the thumbnail.
the picture. Yeah. Do the.
I'll be right
pose.
back.
He's going.
He's looking for his way. Yeah. He's looking for
Diz says,
I can make money from this.
shout out to Sabbath. Then we have Diz saying, have any of you tried Shredders yet? It's genuinely my favorite snowboarding game, says Amp2. That went a different direction I think most of you are expecting. I've heard some describe it as skate meets snowboarding. I played it a little bit. It was not clicking with me at all, unfortunately. Controls were just a little, I don't know, weird. Approaching the jump and then going to tricks, it just, I don't know, it wasn't working. Tijo says if Knuckles Chaotix and a couple other 32X games isn't on the Mini 2, I think that's a missed opportunity. Chaotix has never been re-released.
Whoa.
I would like to see that. Are they doing 32X games on that thing though? Because I thought they just mentioned CD.
They haven't announced the entire set yet, so maybe. But yeah, right now, no, we don't know about it.
Edwin says it's official. Bungie is a Sony company as of today. Killzone reboot, please. Yeah, it's probably not.
Did you see the likes on that tweet? Sony just saying, yeah, the deal is done. Like, people are way too excited about a stupid contractual obligation.
I think people have expectations for what's going to come out of that deal that are not going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. Sony has said they're working on 10 or 12 live service games. Bungie is probably they're going to be running support on a lot of those, I think.
And they're already working on games currently because they have like funding before that from NetEase, I think, to make a new IP. And I mean, Sony obviously then owns them, but it's they're not going to like be like, hey, give me Killzone. We're going to make it. I don't think that's happening.
You know, I think people are excited too because they saw how Destiny 2 eventually turned out. So they're thinking maybe they can turn that with other stuff Sony has or new stuff.
Well, let me give you an example of an expectation. When the deal was initially announced, there were actually more people than I thought who figured all of a sudden Sony owned Halo.
Right.
I was like, what is going on here? Yes, I don't know. It was kind of strange, but it's that got corrected, it seemed, on Twitter, but it was very weird. Tijo says all mainline Star Ocean games are on PS4 in Japan. In the West, we're just missing the PS4 port of Second Evolution. Square Enix really needs to fix that.
I actually don't.
Damn. I tried to play Star Ocean till the end of time again recently because that's on PlayStation 4. I forgot that game is like hundreds of hours and a lot of it is not good.
I'm joking. Star Ocean's like my favorite mid franchise ever.
Come on, Star Ocean. Come on, pull through Star Ocean.
It's like when you play Star Ocean again, you're like,
I know. I really want this
keep
new one
going.
to be good.
I guess. What?
Sorry, just showing off my Fire Emblem collector's edition here. Big Fire Emblem fan, as everyone knows. Still sealed.
What?
Yeah,
$10.
Well, tell me about Shadow Dragon, Sean.
I never
happened?
played it. I never played it.
Sean's the biggest fan of Xenoblade and Fire Emblem without ever beating either of those game in the series ever.
Yeah, he's the biggest supporter. That's the difference. He's a supporter, not a fan.
I just fucking don't beat a single game in the series. I have no idea. But the Monado, you know?
Monado. I
have the collector's editions and I share the memes.
I see Joel here. Joel was the one who asked us about the Platinum Trophy stuff. Thanks, Joel. Revan says, have any of you played the original Crisis Core? I have. I liked Crisis Core quite a bit. I'll be playing the remake whenever that comes out, either end of this year or beginning of next year. But yes, that was probably my favorite PSP game. Now I'm really thinking about it.
Yeah, I like War of the Lions a little bit more, but yeah, Crisis Core is great. I beat the hell out of that game.
I like Crisis Core. It's very good. Well, it was annoying at times, but it was still awesome, like for the time, and the graphics and everything for PSP were nuts back then. So it was pretty
still
cool.
in like that Final Fantasy VII high at that point, you know. Still really,
we were still
really
looking for something. It was like, man, we need something because like what was it? I think the Dirge of Cerberus. Did that game come out by then?
Dirge of Cerberus was before that, and we had Advent Children. So we thought that Crisis Core, like, wow, we're getting Final Fantasy VII forever, and then Crisis Core ended that.
Now we're getting it forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, now it's actually forever.
Did you see, real quick, did you see that in Famitsu they confirmed that they're not going to remake Dirge of Cerberus? They said Dirge of Cerberus is another universe now. Final Fantasy VII Remake is a different timeline.
Wow. They disowned that thing. Wow.
I know. I've never seen them like, don't worry about that.
The Uncharted Wolf says they're a preferred style of turn-based strategy game y'all prefer. For some reason, Fire Emblem is the only one that works for me, and I'm unsure why.
So strategy, like a strategy, he likes strategy turn-based RPG games.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, everyone says, a lot of people say tactics, obviously, but you know what? I actually really like Disgaea as well. Disgaea can be pretty fun. That's because it's out there. It's like you did millions of damage for no reason. Okay.
The latest one though is that there's a lot of like turn it on, press a button, and then walk away for like a whole day.
6. It's a lot of auto stuff.
It's a lot of auto, but there's a lot of cool other games like Songs of Conquest is basically a return to Heroes of Might and Magic, and then we also have things like Last Spell, which is a really cool tactics game.
Okay.
Front Mission. Nobody talks about Front Mission. It's great.
Retro says MVG made me do this super because of T40 in Thailand, baby. And
he's talking about soccer.
He's
talking about Liverpool versus. He's talking about Liverpool versus Manchester United in Thailand.
Oh. Whoa. Okay. This is from Design saying, early game of the year predictions. I'm thinking Bayo 3, Elden Ring, God of War, Horizon, TMNT, and possibly Sonic Frontiers.
Not Sonic Frontiers.
You know what? You know what'd be hilarious is if Sonic Frontiers came out and it just 95, 96 across the board, and we're like, what is happening? And then at the end of the year, we're all talking about it. Sonic Frontiers wins game of the year over Elden Ring.
That would be nuts. That would be impossible. That would be crazy. I would like it though. That would if Sonic Frontiers came out and it was incredible, it would make me so happy because remember back in the day, like, you know, Sonic was like that ish, you know, like in the 90s, like
Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Let's go.
Yeah, like even before then, like Sonic 1, Sonic 2. I remember when Sonic 2 came out, the pandemonium that kind of like took over here in the US about how great that game was going to be. And it was awesome. It was every bit as awesome. Game of the year. You know, back then people didn't talk about game of the year like that, but because we didn't have social media. But I remember just talking about consistently how great Sonic 2 is, and even Sonic 3, even like, you know, that game. So like, I don't know, man, it would be great if I can get back to where we just know that the next mainline Sonic game is always going to be hype, but there's just been so many blunders in between. It's hard to get.
Never been a thing.
You weren't alive, Jordan. You weren't alive.
It's gonna be Forces 2. It's Sonic Forces 2. We all know it.
Oh man. Pyre says, imagine PlayStation Home, but in an Astro's Playroom style, like mini games and in-game rewards from other game achievements, etc.
I would love that.
Base says Game Pass does reward you Microsoft reward points when you get achievements as long as it's from Game Pass games. Yeah, they have like quest turn-ins and like I randomly go on there and it's like you have 9 quests to turn in. Like, oh, okay, I guess.
Right.
I don't know. This sounds like it's gonna be a bit more involved and have a bit more, I guess, to earn for digital rewards and stuff. We'll see how it works out when they launch it later this year. Evan, we have any more Discord questions?
Just a couple. One is just a suggestion mostly about us doing top 10 videos for older console games as the Spawncast, to which I would say it's hard enough getting all of us here for 2 hours once a week. I don't know if we'd really want to kind of go into that to try to make more videos all the time. Okay. But I mean, we do have the other channel, and if people, we could probably do stuff.
Yeah, I've got to do something fun like that. Maybe get everyone to turn it in and like, what was it? Their top. What was it? Top.
We
10,
basically
Evan?
pick like a top 10 thing. Pick like an older system, maybe a genre or something, and we can just talk about it for a bit.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I mean, we could even on like a slower week, we could probably do that in like a topic.
Top 10 Switch Pro rumors.
top 10.
I got a picture for that.
It's a hard list to tense down. So
and Switch Pro rumors.
You got another one, Evan.
And then the last one, we have someone asking whether they should play Bayonetta 3 and or Xenoblade Chronicles 3 if they can't find time normally for the series. Mostly what they look for in games are things that are driven by narrative, specifically like characters, world building, and dialogue.
Dude, Xenoblade's gonna take you a long time to beat.
Yeah, you're gonna be on a ride with that one. Bayonetta, like it's got like a lot of the returning characters are coming back, but Bayonetta's story is very kind of like tongue in cheek and it's kind of wonky. But it's like it has its serious parts, but it's also kind of weird too. So I mean, Bayonetta is one of those games you can just kind of play and have fun and maybe even forget about the story, but it's there if you want to know the lore and the history and all that.
Yep.
But
and it's nowhere near the length of Xenoblade.
Yeah, nowhere. I mean, Bayonetta, you can usually beat those games. Like if you're playing on normal and you're not caring about like your rankings, like you can just beat it like in 10 hours, maybe even less. Like you can just power through those games. But if you want to get everything and like get the pure platinums and get do all the challenge quests and missions, it'll take you longer.
And you said that was the last one, Evan?
That should be it.
Derek says to Sean, compare your worst Tinder experience to a notoriously bad video game. Which bad video game would it be and why?
Well, he's not here.
Okay, we'll ask him.
I'll save that one for
Matthew. Says Neon White is amazing. Deserves attention. I think that might actually be that might be the indie game.
I'm preferring RoboQuest as the kind of like run around shoot stuff type game.
Okay. Steven says, when can you see Nintendo announcing a Zelda game for 2022? September. I mean, yeah, that's probably it. Is that direct? Mm-hmm. Banana says, Atlas gave us that survey and asked if people would enjoy ports of Shin Megami Tensei games and Vanillaware games. I said yes to all. Would you guys buy the 3DS SMT games if they were ported to Switch? Also, high MVG.
Yes.
I'd pick them up, yeah.
Yes.
Wonder if they'd be compilations or if they'd be like they'd just move them over straight up and make them digital or something on the shop.
SMT4, like, yeah, absolutely. That game is incredible. Yeah.
No.
This way says, what's going to be Nintendo's first cloud game on cloud? Like first party wise, would they do anything cloud based?
Balloon Fight. It's already in the clouds. Bam.
I don't know. I don't know if they would.
Kid Icarus Cloud Only Edition.
Cloud only. He's flying in the clouds.
Yeah.
I don't know. That is kind of a bridge I don't expect Nintendo to cross.
Final Fantasy VII remake cloud version.
Nintendo's gonna make it themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Nintendo doing a cloud. I don't know. That's tough. I'm trying to think of what property they would do it with. I don't know.
A Pokemon MMO.
If they did it, an MMO would make sense because you're always online for it anyway.
Yeah.
Like those are the ones that make the most sense for cloud games to me because you're always connected, sending information back and forth either way. And Ryu says, question for the chat. Anyone pre-ordered Steam Deck in July 2021 and got their email this month? I pre-ordered July 21 and still waiting.
Yeah, just be patient. I mean, I just got mine a month ago and I was like literally right there when the pre-orders opened up. So it's almost a lottery, really, depending on when you get in. But you'll get it. You'll get it.
Their production has increased pretty well right now. And the interesting thing we're seeing with the chip shortage is it's turning into a chip surplus apparently now for a lot of these these production companies and them making the chips, a lot of people like Apple and anyone who really needs a ton of them ordered so many that they kind of don't need them now. So they're just kind of making chips or filling orders, and they don't necessarily have as many places to send them. So that's kind of the word now, is we went from like the chip shortage to potential of a chip surplus next year. So I'm curious how that's going to work out for them, but that tells me that actually making systems might not be as bad next year, and that would include the Steam Deck. So EU says, love you guys. Thanks, EU. Retro says, looks at MVGT. Oh man, 4-0 but in Thailand, you know. And I'm taking it before Premiere starts. By the way, Amiga for life. And Fenta says, December Switch release 2021 was Big Brain Academy. What's the budget title for 2022? 1, 2, 3 Switch. Watch, it's going to be, they're actually put that out. Dwan Davis says, hey, what's up, everyone? What's up, OJ? I see Mr. Clean got you again, but I do got a question. Why Sony certain game you got for the Switch and not the good game? Why is that? Why Sony certain game you got?
I'm thinking he's probably just saying that Sony can only, or is it Sony? No.
He's asking OJ, and then OJ's internet exploded. Yeah, but I do got a question. Why Sony certain game you got for the Switch and not the good game? Why is that?
I bet that's an inside joke from chat we just don't get.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we can ask OJ when he pops back in. His internet's in and out. We got you, Mr. Davis. Lewis says, any chance Nintendo has one last surprise in store this year? Something like a Wind Waker or Twilight Princess port? Yes, potentially that, but I still think that Metroid Prime remaster is like the thing that would happen.
Did you hear Sean dying?
What happened? Did his bookshelf fall over on him? Like right? Climbing to the top trying to grab like Bayonetta? And
he probably fell down the stairs.
What was that?
In the distance, just a
Sean, you have the after show in like 10 minutes, dude. You okay? Oh,
he's gone.
D Jones says, what video game music do you enjoy listening to, but have never played the series? For me, it'd be the Final Fantasy series. Oh, that's interesting.
Don't have one.
Trying to think. I've been listening to a lot of random lo-fi lately, those random lo-fi mixes, and they'll be like weird, obscure Zeldas, because I feel like I've played a lot of mainline stuff, but they'll be like random songs I've definitely never heard of before on there.
Listen to a lot of Carpenter Brut, but I never played the game that his stuff was in, which what was that? It's the top-down shooter action game that was huge. Everyone wore masks. Can't remember.
Not sure. Cristobal says, most of you guys got me hooked on the Boys series. Almost done with season 1. Will there be a Spawncast after show? And will OJ be there on Hotline? Okay.
If Sean's okay, there will be one.
Good. Keep going with the Boys. It gets better as you go along.
Better and better.
After show, and OJ may be on it if his internet didn't explode. Vid says, RGT is still using the racing rig, ready to jump to iRacing yet. Is Sean still... Sean might be unconscious on his floor right now.
Good.
His mic keeps turning green.
I was gonna say he might
be moving around.
He's bleeding out.
Mohammed says, "Love Fringe. He's awesome."
Hey, appreciate you.
Shinru says, "Dreamcast guy, how good is Dead Space compared to Resident Evil?"
They're very different. I think, like in cinema, they talk about body horror versus shock horror. I think that a lot of times. Resident Evil tries to go for shock horror, dogs busting through windows and people growing extra arms. Dead Space is really good body horror, and honestly, that's part of why I'm so excited about Callisto Protocol. It looks like just the finest art of body horror, but really, you can't lose. They're both great.
Retro says, MVG, you think the deck is the best portable retro emu available, including Switch, full frame down the line, Senior T, 4 in Thailand, Amiga.
I mean, I think so, but like I would say I haven't looked at some of these other handhelds that are out. Like, what was it? I can't remember what it was called.
Neo.
Yeah, Neo. Check out ETA Prime. He does some really good stuff. Mm-hmm. So if you want to know what the best handheld is, just check out ETA Prime.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a very interesting channel there. He just finds all kinds of obscure gadgets and stuff.
For me, I would say the deck is the best emulation handheld you can get right now.
Lewis says also, what's up with Ragnarok upping their collector's edition to $260 when the Stone Mason edition was only $150 in 2018? Has inflation gotten that bad?
That's just an expensive hammer.
It's Sony.
Yeah, I mean they give you a steelbook with no.
Honestly, if they charged $499, it would still have sold out in 8 minutes.
That thing's getting flipped on eBay for like 4 times the price. It's crazy.
I know.
I just went in person to a GameStop and because I was out and pre-ordered it, and they're saying that each store, like each GameStop store, is only allotted like 3.
Yeah.
So
I managed to pre-order. I think I'm just gonna give mine away though. That hammer does look cool. I think I'm gonna open it, swing the hammer on video, and then do a giveaway.
Scott says, I fixed my Xbox Series X Halo Edition with a $15 fan so it doesn't overheat. Are you blowing the fan on it? Just like
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out I'm trying to picture what the fix was. Okay.
I thought aftermarket. Yeah, I just bought one of those industrial
That
fans.
reminds me of those viral videos of people blowing like smoke through their Xbox Series to try to
the vaping video. Those were the best, man. I did a great thumbnail that went viral back when that was all happening of smoke pouring out of an Xbox.
No, it's good times.
Let's see. X Trash lost the PlayStation. Says, Talk MVG and Night Dive screwing up remaster. Trash dev.
Thanks, buddy. Love you.
how could you do this, MVG?
Good to see you here, buddy.
Specifically MVG.
Yeah.
Dr. Blue says if Nintendo moves away from the Switch concept, it wouldn't be shooting themselves in the foot, it'll be shooting themselves in the head. Nintendo's interesting. Yeah. Hey, you know what? I don't think it's gonna happen for a while, so there you go. Look at it that way. It's something we can deal with in like 3 or 4 years. Defeat says, thanks for being awesome, Cast. Tijo says Sean got pulled into Balan Wonderworld. He might have been. Dwan Davis says, I meant to say this. How come something game for Sony we could get for the Switch? I like the good ones like Spider-Man or God of War. How come for Switch? Why is that? Why are they not on the Switch? Spider-Man, that was Sony who licensed that out from Marvel specifically. Technically, Nintendo could have if they wanted to, but they weren't interested. They did Ultimate Alliance though. That has Spider-Man on it. God of War though is just owned by Sony outright. So
maybe they mean specifically like big giant budget cinematography experience. I don't know. Those games definitely only exist on PlayStation style wise, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean Breath of the Wild 2 will be pretty far up there in terms of budget and presentation, all of that. But Nintendo also likes to do smaller titles that they can release 2 or 3 year dev cycles even.
Sean?
But that's...
Are you okay?
You losing blood, buddy?
Yeah, is Sean back?
I heard you yell at one point.
Oh, good. Sean's back.
Hurt my finger. I did find the Wii U and
oh, good.
found a snack, boys. Some fresh Super Mario cereal.
Oh, those are so good.
Eat it. Actually eat it right now.
Dude, no way.
Do it.
Dude,
do it.
I tried to find that. They could not find that anywhere. I tried to find that. I wanted to eat it.
I got both versions.
How old is that, Sean?
The second edition.
It's got to be like 5 years old.
Yeah, this is the first edition.
Oh man.
Best used by October 26th of 2018.
Oh, you're fine.
Wow.
Yeah, go for it. It's
This is
mostly
best
sugar. That
used.
doesn't go bad.
Sounds like a video.
Dude, it was so hard to.
Uh-huh.
Go on.
That's tomorrow's video.
Liam,
You eating that food? Oh, dude, I'm down.
Yeah, you have to bait it. Say 4,000 likes next video. I'll eat a bite of this. For every 1,000 likes, I'll eat a bite of this old ass cereal.
No, just come through the through the after show.
There you go.
Show some love, and we'll get it.
You found your Wii U. We should put your Wii U up in the after show.
Yeah, I did. It's right here.
Okay. Liam says, I know it may be extremely early to predict this, but do you think there is a possibility we could get a season 2 of Mario Kart DLC after the first pass concludes? Seems they are pulling from tour, and the next game is probably at least 3 to 4. I don't know. That's a lot of courses in DLC.
I think they will. Honestly, I don't want them to, but I 100%. I mean, Mario Kart just keeps selling. Like, why not?
That's true. It does. Mr. Stud Muffin says, I think Bayonetta 3 can reach 2 million because of the Switch effect and her having more recognizability from the Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Maybe.
I agree.
And then Mr. Stud Muffin follows up, says, more Final Fantasy spin-offs starring Jack Garland.
I played the DLCs for that's about to come out, and it actually looks unironically fantastic.
Juan says, have you heard of Prime Hacked? Impressive project, modified Dolphin emulator to play the Prime games with traditional controls. Works perfect on Steam Deck, 60 FPS, etc. Great show as always. Yeah, the Metroid Prime has seen some really cool changes for like Dolphin and emulation and all this. Let me go around here. I think I saw a few other messages come up. Let me go around here as we finish up. I'm going to go to Jordan Fringe.
That's me. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Jordan Fringe. Got some big announcements coming soon with content, and yeah, it'll be exciting. I'll definitely talk about it on here once it's ready. But thanks for the support.
Quest for Best asks, if they remade Golden Sun or made a sequel, could you enjoy it if it wasn't turn-based?
No.
I could enjoy it. That would be interesting to see the reaction, though.
I don't know if I could. It's like what they did with ActRaiser 2, how they just made it side-scrolling and they took out the world-building stuff of the first game. I feel like if you change things up too much, it kind of takes away from what made the game so special in the first place. So I don't know if I would enjoy it.
But if they made a sequel to the last one and it was not turn-based, it was more action-oriented.
I'd still probably get it.
Yeah. let me go here to MVG. Let everyone find you. Oh my gosh, what was that?
What's up?
He's having a fun time.
You can find me. You can find me on Twitter at Modern Vintage G and YouTube Modern Vintage Gamer. Have a video coming out on Monday, so I'll be back on YouTube. And yeah, we're looking at the Xbox Live replacement that for 1.0. So I've been playing around with it this weekend. Got into a private alpha test. Was playing Unreal Championship and a bunch of other games. It's really, really awesome. So check out the video on Monday.
On the OG Xbox?
On the OG Xbox.
Got it right there. Got HDMI up and everything.
There you go.
Really?
It's coming soon.
Interesting.
The Xbox Live's coming back.
No.
Does it need to be OG Xbox, or can you do a Xbox Series with that?
No, at the moment it has to be OG. I don't know about 360 or Series, but right now it's OG. You can use an emulator. You can use like XMU and do it through that, but it has to be OG Xbox.
Kind of cool. Go over to Max, Dreamcast Guy. Where can I find you, man?
YouTube.com/Dreamcast Guy. Monday morning, I have a long review of Stray. It's like 11 minutes long, and I go into every part of it. So if you're curious about that kitty cat game and you're not a hater like Sean, be sure to tune in.
Go over here to Evan.
You can find me at Twitter, Kimmerix Project, if I'm going live for streaming, which we've been doing a lot of like miniature painting and stuff. These past couple of weeks, hanging out, talking about games. You can check it out there, and that's usually where I'll announce anything going on.
Then Sean.
You can find me evidently potentially eating a box of old cereal tomorrow. And you can find us on the after show. Let me link the channel.
In History Repeats dropped a message in the links in History Repeats. I see you there. Yeah, Sean's got the after show about to roll, so check that out. Should be fun. I don't know what we're gonna do. I might play some Halo. I might edit videos while Sean tells some stories.
Well, I can't play Halo because
Borderline with that. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm downstairs.
Yeah, you know, just chat about stuff and hang out. So that works too. All right, that'll do it here for the Spawncast. Thanks everyone for joining us. We will be back next Saturday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. We'll see you guys then.